It didn't come in? I don't believe that. Good morning and welcome to Integrity Biofeedback Academy's Wednesday morning Q&A. I am Brenda Judah and I am going to be joined by Sharron, I hope, today. We've had a switch up of some computers this morning, and so I hope Sharron will be joining us at some point. I did hear a ding for the email, so maybe she got her invitation. As you can see here, I've kind of changed up the background. I did have on there seashells so that everybody joining us would know that we are in Southwest Florida enjoying great weather. And unfortunately, maybe the rest of you are seeing this in the background today. For some people on the call today, they may even recognize this particular area. This is an area in southern Ontario, and this is a picture I took with my very own camera. So believe me, I know what I speak of when I talk about cold weather. So I want to just remind everybody today that you can join the webinar and start asking questions immediately as we get started today. That's very, very important that you get your information and your questions answered, and so we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to start writing in those questions right now. You can go to the little key that has a question mark on it, and you click that, and you can begin, again, writing those questions in. So let's go ahead and move forward here today. This is, as always, we have this up. This is the disclaimer for those of you who are brand new today. This disclaimer is something that we recommend for everybody who is using any kind of energy device, that you have a disclaimer basically letting people know exactly what this is, and it is a informational stress potential assessment. Okay, so that's what this is about. I must have that up and on the screen so that you know that we know what we're doing, and we want to encourage you to know what you're doing as well. So we always like to have that disclaimer up. And I'm just looking at, we have a new, thank you, Karen, and I will put that up on the screen here in a couple of minutes. I know that we've had some people wanting to know about the Microsoft, I'm sorry, not Microsoft, about the support in for the Quanta Capsule, and also the Emotional Insight app. And so she's given us a new address, and we'll get that up here in the next couple of minutes. As always, these are your email addresses, and actually you can go to quantumlifeeducation.com, and then it is actually /software support, and I will put that up here for you in just a moment. And you can download new updated programs for the Quanta Capsule, as well as other items that need to just be updated. And so you can always do that through quantumlifeeducation.com /software-support. And you can join us and take a look at our websites through IBA at biofeedbackedu.com. You can also take a look at our associates program there. And as always, you can even email us and give us some information, some feedback. You can also even call us. We usually answer the phone. Actually, I should say Sharron usually answers the phone. I don't answer the phone. I get to be the person that sits in the background and does not answer the phone very often, and I like that. So we encourage you to go on there and take a look around, see what is available to you, and what you want to do is go to some of the areas that talk about the certification, and you can sign up for classes through the IBA website, and you can get all kinds of information there that you would need. And let's just, I've fixed up this page here so you can see obviously that it says /software-support. So you can go there for those of you who are having problems with your QuantaCapsule or any of your apps, and you can go ahead and update those. We also have another question, which we will get to here in just a minute. Let's go forward here a little bit. Karen is the CEO of Quantum Life, and we applaud you. See how we're doing that in the background here. Yes, Karen, and that reminds me of you and your trip that you were just on there. So the questions coming in this morning, Karen, and I might go ahead and unmute you if you are still available. Let me see where you are over here. Yes, you are. I'm going to unmute you. Good morning, Karen Williams.
Good morning.
You've got a question coming in this morning. It says, any word on when the 2.0 will be out? I'm going to have you just answer that if you would for a moment, and I'm going to get ready for the Infinity.
Okay, thank you. Well, I did speak with Joshua a couple of weeks ago. He and his wife had a beautiful baby boy. So he took some time off to enjoy being with his son. He's back now, back on track, and we have a date for February 15th. We were hoping for December. There were a few hiccups, and unfortunately, we weren't able to get it out at by the time that we wanted to get it out, mid-December. So we're now looking at February. And we'll provide more information as soon as we have that. I'll send an email out. We will have beta versions out prior to February. There's been some beta testing happening already, which has been great.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's very exciting, and I apologize for the delay because I know we were all hoping and expecting it to be much sooner.
You bet. Yeah. So he's already got some beta testing going on.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much. I'll find out today.
Pardon?
I'm not sure how much beta testing and who's been involved in that. I mean, okay. I sent about 15 people, so I don't know whether they've all been involved in that process or not.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. And as far as the support, you want to go ahead and just talk to them about that support page too, and let them know then that if they have any issues, they can go ahead on there and download over the top of what they already have, correct?
Yeah, just temporarily there's been an account set up in Canada, an enterprise account. I don't want to get into all the legal...
Certainly. No.
But there's, there is that temporary account for now, so people can still use their QuantaCapsule, and I think the relationship app too. But the Quantum Infinity is fine. That's safely on the Quantum Life enterprise account. I'm not quite sure which of the apps Ryan has changed the provisioning profiles for, but I know it's the QuantaCapsule and the relationship app. There might be one or two others as well, but they will be back with Quantum Life on the Quantum Life enterprise account. All that's being dealt with right now. But just so people can continue to use their QuantaCapsules, it's fine to, I didn't want to say this, but I don't want people to not be able to use their QuantaCapsules either. It's more important that they have apps, that they're able to use their apps. So for now, I am suggesting that to use that Canada Inc. And it's the same process. It's the same process as before. You just go into your settings, general, device management, and then accept Canada Inc. as the developer.
To trust it. Yes, right. Yes, that's very, very important, and we'll take a look at that this morning just so that people know, what you're talking about there. So, okay.
Thank you.
And yes, anything else you want to chat with anybody about this morning?
I would love to, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
I don't want to
Okay.
get into all the implications of what's going on legally.
Yeah.
Just
Oh
all is
no.
well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I
As we
didn't
know, all
necessarily
is
mean
well.
that. No, no. Yeah,
I know you
no.
didn't know, I know,
Yeah,
but
we're not counselors.
I would actually love to bring, I'd love to provide more information and just, share with people what, the
Well,
reasons why there's been so many technical problems, because I'm sure a
sure.
lot of people are wondering. Um,
Yeah.
and everything,
I think,
I just want to reassure everybody that it is being worked out and resolved, and hopefully, this can be done amicably. If not, then not, but it is being resolved.
excellent. I think that, yeah, I think that's important. A lot of people are asking us. I think the thing that they're most, concerned about is, will the app go away? And we
No,
continually, just like you, we continually say, absolutely not. The app is
correct.
here to stay. It is fine. You are moving forward. However, I mean, I think the thing that people need to understand, that anytime you have a corporation and the owners of that corporation have any kind of split, there are things to be worked out legally. So that's all that
Mhm.
anybody needs to know. But the app is moving forward. It is protected under that corporation. So I think that's the most
Yeah.
important thing for them to
Mhm.
know. Because you know what? All of us have some personal problems, and we don't even need to chat about those. The more we focus on those, the bigger they get. So we want to focus on moving
That's
forward.
so
So I
true.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thank
Thank
you.
you. And
You're
thank you
welcome.
for your patient support. And I know this has been so challenging for everybody. It's been very stressful. So thank
It
you
has
all.
been. I'm sure I speak for everybody. You're welcome. And
Hmm.
that's why I suggest that you go to the beach.
Well, I actually did go there when I went to visit Destiny for 2 weeks in Hawaii.
Yes.
We had such a great time, and the beaches there are black sand, which I've never seen
Yes.
before. That was fun. That was a good
Volcanic
trip.
ash.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Destiny as well.
Excellent. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I thank you for your time. We're going to go ahead and move forward, and
Okay.
we'll
Thank you
talk
both.
to you again later.
You
Oops, I cut you off. You'll have to forgive me for that. I just want you to pay attention to this. This is what it might look like where you are. And believe it or not, this is a segue into where we're headed here today. Sharron, are you in?
It's a miracle. I am here.
Wow. Interesting. Well, I'll
After two
tell you.
computers, it's working. So thank you. Yes, and I'm watching the snowflakes on the
Good.
screen, not outside.
Well, that's good. I don't know what happened here, but I am. Well, that was a great slide, but we don't need to watch it anymore. What the point of what I wanted to share with you is the 0 point field, and that's what this is going to pop up here on the screen in the next second, I hope. There we go. We got some Christmas trees. Let's just take a look at this. Just outside of space and time is a place you've always been, though it may not be that you can, though it may be that you cannot well remember what you've seen. All of you are there. All of who you are is there, not just 10%. The real you is quantum. You vibrate with pure potential. And that's what Sharon's going to be chatting with you about here in the next second. So I'm going to turn it over to Sharron. Are you ready to go, Sharron?
Sure.
That's good.
There we go. How's that?
I
We
don't see it. There we go.
We are so excited to share with you. We talked a little bit about this last week, what we're launching in 2017, the 0 Point Connection. It's going to be a weekly class like this one, except it's going to be filled with so much more than we're able to do in this format that we're currently with. Well, it's going to be filled with inspiration, information, intuition, innovation, through intention. There's going to be many elements in this class. We are going to have the standard Q&A time for Infinity app users, and also, as you know, we're adding live system users as well. Some of you have both systems. We're adding some new students that are coming in for life systems, so we'll be doing the Q&A time for that. We're also going to be doing practitioner interviews, interviewing people that are using either the Infinity or life system and or both, and how they're using it effectively. And that will also include perhaps some marketing ideas of how people are getting the word out and getting clients into their offices using their systems. And so that will be a good part of what we'll be doing in 2017 as well. We're also going to be interviewing the new CEO of the Life System company, HET. She has just taken over the company and bought the company. We are excited about her being part of all of this, and so that is going to be an interesting interview with her on what drew her to buy the company and where she's headed with this company in her innovative ideas for the Life System. So I'm excited about that. We're also going to be talking about having a book of the month. We've got so many books to choose from. Brenda and I are prolific, is that the right word? Prolific readers. And in fact, I've got some books on my bookshelf that I just picked up. Again, I've read several years ago, picking them up and seeing all new things in it because of where we are in our company and also personally in our spiritual walk, in our and our company as well. So we're going to be having a book of the month and having some good discussion time with that. And so we're excited about what's coming. Let me just get to the next screen if I can. This has been interesting with computers today. It's going to be every Wednesday at 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, if you cannot attend, just like these classes, if you cannot attend live with us, these classes are going to be archived so that you can listen to the recordings later on at your convenience and when you're able to do that, and so you have that option as well. And as always, you can, there we go, you can send in your questions to us ahead of time and we will talk about them on the class, and then you can listen again for the answers. Again, Q&A for Infinity and Life System users, practitioner interviews, professional interviews, and the recommended book of the month. The good news is we got this accredited by the NTCB. We, as you know, if you've been with us for a while, everything we do, we go through the Natural Therapy Certification Board, who we're certified with, our academy, our instructors. This is crucial. We don't want to offer you anything that you cannot get credit for. So we've worked hard and had this approved by the NTCB. It's going to be worth 30 CEUs. If you've been certified through the NTCB, and some of you have, and some of that will be joining us have been, if you are in the Stress Management Certification Program, that's for Infinity users. If you are in the Biofeedback Certification Program, that's for Life System users. You need, after you finish your certification, if you finished your Technician and Specialist certification, you need 20 CEUs per year to be recertified, to keep up your certification. That is a rule of the NTCB, which I love, and that's real important. This class, if you do it for the year, is worth 30 CEUs, well above and beyond what you need on a yearly basis. And so it covers exactly what you need. So if you're taking it for continuing CEUs after you've been certified, that's going to be $149 per year for that credit. And we'll be giving some extra assignments so that I know that you're keeping up with the calls, and it's going to be linked to the book of the month and so forth, and so we'll keep track of what you're doing. If you're not taking it for credit, and you certainly can, many of you will just love the information that we'll be giving, you can still take this, of course. It's going to be $99 for non-credit. If you join, let's say somebody joins in February or March, it's still $99, but the reason is you have access to all the recordings of that entire year, and so you don't miss out on anything. If you decide later on to jump on board and take this class, again, you can do it for non-credit, it doesn't matter. And so that's always an option as well. So as it's also a part of the certification programs, you pay much more for it if you're being certified, if this is part of the certification program. But if you have questions about that, let us know. It's about half price for continuing CEUs and about 1/3 of the price if you're taking it for non-credit. So we've worked hard to work all that out. By Friday, our goal is to have this up on our website. We are ready to almost send you an email about this. Everybody's going to be getting an email on how to register. So if you go on today and you don't see it, don't panic. We're working on it even as we speak. So by Friday is our goal to have everything up and running. We've had to make a GoToMeeting account for this, for Integrity Biofeedback Academy. We've had to do some technical aspects of all of this to get it up and running, but by Friday this will be on the website, and you'll go right to our website, biofeedbackedu.com. There's going to be a tab on there called 0 Point or 0 Point Connection. You can click on that tab and you can pay and register either for non-credit or credit, whichever you want to do. This will be replacing the free Wednesday Q&A training calls with Integrity Biofeedback Academy. So we will no longer be doing the free calls. We're going to be doing this instead with Integrity Biofeedback Academy. And some of you may wonder, why? Well, this is why. And we've come to this conclusion over many years of experience doing this, and especially when we're doing these things for credit with the NTCB. Anything acquired without effort and without cost is generally unappreciated and often discredited. This was a powerful statement that jumped out on me on another book that I'm reading in the last few weeks about why we do what we do, and about actually charging for our services. And I know many of you on these calls, you do appreciate us giving our time for free. You know that we've done weeks and weeks and weeks, several years of free services. We answer your calls. We've been giving tech support as much as we can ourselves. We have been doing all of this for free for Quantum Life, and we don't, I don't know how to say this, we just know that in our services, generally, those who are really serious about taking these classes and taking the information and putting it into practice and appreciating what we do and what you're getting out of it, there's a cost, and somehow we've got to absorb some of the cost. It costs to do GoToMeeting. It's a monthly fee, quite high, and our time and all that we're doing is valued as well. So we have come to this conclusion, and again, with credit with the NTCB, there needs to be a cost for it. So anyway, that's what we're doing. We're excited about doing it. Don't forget the Infinity App Proficiency Training. If you haven't gotten that yet, that's another thing that we offer, 5 hours of video recordings with a 62 full-page color manual. If you are interested in that, if you've just purchased your Infinity and want to know more about that, just send me an email at integritybiofeedback@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to send you that information. It'll tell you step by step how to use your Infinity. So there you go.
Okay, thank you, Miss Oyer, and we are heading back over to the Infinity. And I know that Sharron would want me to clarify this. We are not saying that, again, that we have not been appreciated by Quantum Life. So Karen, if you're hearing that, that's not what we're saying, but we are just saying that it's very, very important that people who are serious about learning and wanting to move forward, this is a very important class. It is certainly well under the value of what other people have paid us for. Sharron and I have educated now in over 23 different countries. Some of them we have traveled to do education. So we are at the top of our line and the top of our field in education, and so we offer this to you at a greatly reduced rate in honor of the devices that we use and we believe in, and we want to see that this information gets out there. So enough of that. We thank you for your time, and we are just really excited about moving forward and seeing you in the new year on the new class. Okay, this is what Karen was speaking about here. She was talking about now that some of you who are having to download and reinstall your apps, you're going to have to come in here to your settings, you see that up here, and go to General, which you'll click right here, and scroll right down to the bottom, and you'll see Profile and Device Management. You'll click that, and you'll see Canada. I don't know if it says LLC, I don't recall that or not, but anyhow, that's where you'll click on it and it will ask you to trust it, okay? And these are different apps that have to be trusted, so you'll see that there, it will say Trust App, and you'll click on that, and then that way your product can be installed and can be used the proper way. So that's what you want to do. Okay, I saw that there were some questions coming in, so Sharron, if you want to go ahead and bring a couple of those up for me, that would be great.
Well, I would try because my computer's acting really funny, so it's giving me one little line at a time over here. I'll do the best I can.
I have to do a disclaimer this morning. Just prior to class time, I had a session with our newest practitioner, and I was totally in the parasympathetic nervous system going, la, 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 la. And then Sharron says, uh-oh, my computer's not working. And I had something else happening on my computer. So we've been shot straight to the sympathetic nervous system. And this kind of mumbo-jumbo, mumbling, stumbling, drooling and dribbling around the way we've been acting this morning is what happens to you when you're in the sympathetic nervous system. So you should be thankful to God that most of the weeks we're in the parasympathetic by the time we get with you guys. So I did see a question come up from Susan, which I will just pop this up for myself so that I can read it, since Sharron is in the sympathetic nervous system over there trying to get her computer to work. So, and Susan, I think that this is the question you're asking. She's talking about on other devices or frequency devices, if something is of concern, and the number is out of balance, let's say with a certain virus or something, and she's saying if it's put with a certain essential oil or supplement that works to actually balance that particular energy or normalize it, that that is something that you can actually visualize. So yes, I know what you're saying, and I will try to answer that right here. What you see on the right-hand side of your screen is the cross-analysis master list. For those of you who are interested in it and don't have it, you can always shoot us an email and we will get this to you so that you can actually have this in your own computer. You can print it out. It's like 500,000 pages or something, so you can see why I keep it in here. But you can actually print these out and then have them next to your device. And what she's talking about is, let's say here, let's go to body systems and let's just run a scan here and see what pops up. And what she's saying is that if you have a particular area that comes up and it's out of balance, no matter what it is, whether it's a virus or whether it's one of the other risks or one of the other stressors, she wants to know if you can apply a certain product or item to that and see what happens. Well, we can see that the respiratory here is at 742, so we know we have a little bit of stress there, and we have some stress on 748. This is actually a person on digestive that's actually in the Alliston, Ontario area today, and so we're picking up this energy on them. This is we're doing this at distance. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that respiratory, and we just tapped it, and it opened up the cross analysis. So now what we want to see is we're not necessarily real interested, I'm not, in if there's a virus or a bacteria, but what I would be interested in is there any kind of homeopathic that might be of advantage to this particular client. So I'm going to start typing in, okay, and now that's in Chinese, and I don't speak Chinese. I have to say I don't know what happened there. Let's try to move that back to English. Oh, thank you, God. Okay, let's just do this. Okay, I want to fall into gales of laughter and lose my mind right now, but I'll try to stay with you. Homeopathic, all. Since I'm not a homeopath, I don't particularly know which one of these homeopathics would be advantageous to the respiratory system. So I'm just going to go ahead and click homeopathic all. You can see there it's loaded in all of these homeopathy remedies. And so now I'm going to tap the check button and see which one of these would resonate the strongest with the respiratory here. And if there's something in there that the body would like to have. So let's see. In this situation, Susan, actually that question came in from Susan, we would want the number to be really high because we would want the number to say that, the body resonates with that. Okay, not so high on that, but you know, I want the body to resonate with it. So the stronger the body resonates with it, the higher the vibration, or the higher the value will be there. So in the homeopathics, I'm not seeing anything right now that I want to do. So maybe let's go back out and let's put in Bach flower remedies. And as you can see, I'm just starting to type in Bach flower, and up here comes Bach flower remedies. Let's check that and see if we've got something that the body is going to resonate with strongly. We do not have the vitamins in the cross analysis individually. Again, nothing resonating real strongly. You could try to see if that particular one would have any impact on the respiratory channel if you like. You could always use that one, but again, the resonation is kind of low there, so I probably wouldn't. Let's go back out and let's try one other thing. Let's go and try some Young Living things and see if there's any oils that might be impactful for the respiratory here. So what we're trying to do is see what the body is saying. Hey, you know what, in relationship to the respiratory, because that's what we're holding there, this is something I'd really like to have. And so let's pop up there. Hallelujah. Good thing you came up with something this time, sister. Okay, let's take that purification oil and let's put that right up there. Let's go ahead and close out of this. The reason I did that is because that was at 14, and so what I wanted to see was what is going to resonate the strongest for that particular area in the body that we're scanning these energies against. So in other words, we're seeing what's going to help bring this respiratory system back into balance. And so right now what we're doing is we took the Young Living oil purification, the energy of it that is, and we've placed that in that Balance RX, and we're giving this client 1 minute of that. We're going to see what her body has to say. So again, Susan, this is how I would do that. Again, the cross analysis does not have a listing of nutrients that we could do with that. However, you could go in to the nutriopathy panel, find out what different nutrients you have in there that are out of balance, drop them maybe in the Balance RX up at the top, while you're holding the respiratory in this area, and we'll show you that in just a minute. So we can see that this only gave us a 29% here, but let's just recheck this and see how much of an impact it did have on the respiratory. So let's go ahead and click respiratory. Let's type in up here respiratory. Okay. Remember, it's going to ask us all kind of questions. We're doing it hololinguistically. Yes, that is true. We don't have a printer hooked up, so we're just going to see what's going to happen here. We knew that that was at 7:48, I believe, when we first started. And so let's see where it ends. And this will tell you, now I know this is a lot of fiddling around here, but this is one way of doing it. And we can see that already the respiratory has come down to 708. And remember, once it gets below about 650, it's more in the normal range. So even though the body only gave us a 29% assimilation of the vibration for this purification oil, it has already impacted the respiratory system quite nicely with just 1 minute. So that is one way of knowing what you might need for the body. Yes, Sharon, I hear you popping in.
Just to clarify, and I got this up, and it's not in Chinese, so this is good. She's just to clarify, when you say really high, you're speaking of not of like over 12,000, not just around 10,000. When you're speaking of
well,
really
10,000. 10,000 is your, and what she's talking about is when she does the cross analysis. That values in there again are 0 to 20,000. And so what's happening is 10,000 would be your average area. So things well below 8 and well above 10 are going to be things that are out of balance. In this situation, when we're looking at vibrations that are remedy type vibrations, we want that number to be, you know, I mean, at least 10,000, maybe over 10,000. Again, like this was at 14, the purification oil was at 14. And so the body was saying it resonated very strongly with the energy for that purification. In other words, that purification oil was something that it really liked in relationship to the respiratory. So I would like it to be over 10,000, yes. So,
okay.
Go ahead, Sharon.
She has some more here.
Okay.
Do you want me to continue?
Sure, go ahead.
She said, for instance, there was a virus that showed up as 14,000. So I was checking it against some EOs, and some showed up around 10,000, some much higher, and some lower. So the ones that come up around 10,000 would not be useful? She's questioning that.
They would be, but you know, again, it's like you want something that is going to be, as long as it's in the remedy, you want that number to be higher, okay? So what you're, it would be like, why would I give the body an energy maybe that is, you know, a little bit lower? Will it have an impact? Sure. And the body must need some of that frequency because it is giving you a response at all. So it must need some of that frequency. And so some of it would be helpful, but it's just not going to have the bang or the impact that one that has a much higher value. Again, I'm talking about healing remedies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not talking about viruses, bacteria, things, parasites, things like that. I'm talking about things that are remedies that help to balance the body. So they are, we're not supposed to use the word healing. You'd know that, Brenda, Judah, if you take the classes, which I do. So these remedies that are to help support the body, we want those to be nice and high. So again, Susan, yes, something that's resonating at 10 or even at 9, it would have an impact, a positive impact. But for my money, and I don't mean that necessarily monetarily, but for the best bang for the buck is going to come with the items that the body is saying, hey, I really want that one. So that's how I look at that.
Good. Okay.
Okay, what I've done, I'm going to show you one other way to do this. What I've done is I've taken that respiratory, and there you go. By the way, the respiratory was at 748 and went down, 742 went down to 708. I've just dropped that respiratory down in this area. Just going to hit the back button here. I'm going to go to nutriopathy, and I'm going to hit that. And what we're going to do is we're holding the respiratory down there in the bottom multi-layer area. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the things that come up vitamin-wise and mineral-wise to see what might have a really neat impact on the body. So I'm just kind of looking through here. We see some histidine there. We see some boron. We see some iron. I'm looking more for phosphorus. Okay, potassium. Okay, that's interesting. Could take some potassium. We see B9. Maybe you'd like to take B9 and drop it up there. Actually, not drop it, move it up there. And maybe you would like to take, again, you could take anything that's out of balance and put it up there. And you could set your MEP, and you could do a little bit of balance here. You'd have to set it for like 2 minutes so that it would go back and forth between those two trays. And so you're stimulating the respiratory, you're actually balancing it, and you're actually balancing it with those items that are in that upper area. And so what we're going to find out then is when we go back and we start to balance, actually, not balance, but we go back to the body organs, we can actually hit recheck and look and see what that has done for the respiratory part of the body. So we're giving 1 minute up there right now. And just for those of you who have updated, and just, I know you're on the call, Karen, as you'll see, when you're using the MEP, your buttons are no longer flashing to tell you where it's actually working, and that has happened since the last update. I believe that everything is still functioning properly because these are things that come up solely for they have to do with the programming in the background. So for some reason they've dropped that particular programming, and that might be just something to hold in your thought process there, because our blinking buttons have disappeared since our update. My device is fully updated. Everything is working except some of the visual options there. So just to pass that along. Also, where we're sitting here waiting for that, as you see, homeopathy is very strong in this cross-analysis, as well as the Young Living Oils and the Bach flower remedies. So those are most of the remedies that you have in here. There are other positive things within here, like stimulation of white blood cells and things like that, wound healing. These are very positive things, but most of the other areas are diseases and disorders, and so those are not things that you would necessarily want to be resonating high with. Okay, let's pop back over here. We see that we have given that energy. Let's go back here. Let's hit recheck again, tap that. We've got respiratory already in there. Hololinguistics, okay. Scanning it, let's see if that's had any impact. Actually, it did not. It actually shifted it a little bit and pushed it up somewhat. So I did not ping the proper things in that nutrition, but this is how you would do that. You would look to see what is out of balance and what might have an impact on the respiratory area. And as you can see, this has gone back up to 710. So those were not the items that we necessarily wanted to impact at that particular time. But you would be able to go in there and take a look and see which one of those items might be in relationship to the respiratory system, and you would do it that way as well. I hope that's about as clear as mud there for you. I hear you coming in, Sharon, so go ahead.
Yes, here's a question from Dolores, if you're ready for the next
Sure.
question.
Yeah.
Okay. With the homeopathics, this kind of goes with what you're talking with
Yes.
rechecking. Have you thought of rechecking with just the 3 highest ones that came up to see if a smaller amount would show more resonance?
Yes. What she is saying, and yes, indeed, I have done that. And I like that idea. What Dolores is saying is, let's tap respiratory. We've done the, what we found to be good was the Young Living. And so we might want to check now. We're probably going to get a different number, of course. But what she's saying is to check individually those top 3 values, I believe, and see maybe which one of those, I'm assuming, are the best items for the client, and if they will also have an impact. Because now you can see that we have another Young Living oil here. And so read me that question again, Sharon.
She says, with the homeopathics, have you thought of rechecking with just the 3 highest ones that came up to see if a smaller sample would show more resonance?
Okay, that's where I was headed. You're right. You're right. Again, here's another one. Here's the next one, however, for the Young Living. But what she's saying, okay, I'm getting my head together. I do apologize. This has been an interesting morning for us. So what she is saying is because when we did the homeopathics, remember, we didn't get any that gave us a real strong resonance. So what Dolores is saying, maybe if we were to take these individually, the top 3 that comes up, maybe we would find that one of those would be more impactful if we were not scanning the entire grouping. And now, isn't this interesting, that since we did Young Living and we did some other nutritional things, and we also came back and we did a little bit of balance down here with the respiratory, isn't it interesting that now we're picking up this particular homeopathic at 12,000? So this would, and people are going to say, oh boy, that's too confusing. There's too much stuff going on. No, if you stay focused and you stay pinpointed on one particular thing, if you have a client that comes in that has respiratory issues, you can go back and forth and just follow what the body wants you to do. And don't think that your system isn't working, because remember, the biological speed of the body is 1/10,000th of a second. So people's bodies respond instantaneously to the energy that you are sending to them, whether they're here or in Alliston, Ontario, whether it's coming from Southwest Florida to Ontario, doesn't matter. Their bodies are responding instantaneously because time and distance are a construct of the human mind. They do not exist in the true quantum field, which is where we actually live. So this does not make me think, oh boy, this isn't working. This makes me think, oh boy, we've already had some major impact. So this is interesting. And so back to what our friend Dolores was talking about is when we didn't get any high resonance the first time, maybe what we should have done was gone ahead and just tested these individually, okay, to see which one might have a stronger resonance when, again, not all of these items were being scanned at once. And yes, that is a very good suggestion, and I'm just writing down 2 of these here so that we can do that, what she is saying. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to drop that down there for now, and I'm going to come back out of here and I'm going to come in, and you can actually just, if you happen to be a homeopathy person, you could come in here and very easily look for that one that was the top one just by scrolling through here and scanning to see which item, and there you see we have it now. That's the first one. We can check just that one against the respiratory, and that may give you a stronger or a more clear or a more focused response. Okay. Now, this is 6794. This is great. I'm sure that a lot of you are going, what is going on? When we scanned this client for the homeopathy cross-analysis, we've already done it once the very first time. Then we did some other things with her. We came back in, we scanned again. And that Rus toxicodendron came up at 12,000 just moments ago. Now it comes up at 6794, which I'm telling you has a stress as well, but the body is saying it's not resonating as strongly with this now. Why? Because the body has already had the opportunity to use the signal for this particular homeopathic twice before, and now this is the 3rd time. So just having the signal sent the way it was in the very first 2 scans has been enough to impact her body so that no longer does she necessarily need this particular homeopathic today. This is much farther advanced than we're probably ready for in this particular class. And I don't mean that in any degrading way. I'm just saying that I know there's a lot of people that are just starting out that come into these calls, and it would seem like we're speaking in tongues here, and I apologize for that, but this is a beautiful picture of how fast the body shifts, and it supports what Sharron and I preach and preach and preach and preach. Less is more. So now the question's going to come in. So would you not give her the homeopathic that you have down there? I probably would not at this point, because her body has already balanced, and it's saying, you know what, I'm not resonating real strongly now with this particular one because I've already seen this signature. This is the third time now, and my body, or I have been able to use that signature and balance that particular need in the respiratory system. So, very interesting stuff. Just remember, less is more. I can imagine. Yeah, go ahead, Sharron. I hear you laughing.
No, Susan's saying this is really good stuff, so don't stop. But if you are new and you're listening to this and you're overwhelmed by this, we hope that you see the potential of this system, that you might be thinking, my goodness, I paid $1,000 for this or whatever that you paid, which was near that, I'm sure, unless you got it on a special. But oh my goodness, I bought it for the little bit I knew about it. This system is can be so in-depth, and you can do so many things with it, that I hope you're overwhelmed in a good way, saying, oh my, this is greater and better than I ever could have imagined. And you will get this. Again, the proficiency training will help with this, and our 0 Point Connection calls will help getting you deeper and deeper into the system as well. Sherry made a comment here. I think it's a great one at this point. She says, the body is or becomes the protocol. She says, I really appreciate how you teach, which is always includes the quantum influence to remind us how to work our sessions. Indeed.
Thank you so much for that, Sherry. And Susan, I'm not speaking just to you, but look at that. And Dolores and Blanche, look at that value. Now, again, I know for people that are just getting started in this, believe me, and believe me, I haven't always been in this field. If I had been watching this, 16 years ago, I would have said, listen to that woman. She's just covering. She's crazy. She's nuts. Listen to her. She's trying to talk her way out of it. So I want to quell your fears. I may be a little nuts, but not too much. But it does run in the family. It is probably DNA. But anyhow, off of that. This is how fast that body has been willing to shift the energy. What is 638 or 632? It is balance. Okay. There's still a little stress there. Okay. So it's something I would still be taking a look at. But all of that fiddle-diddling, ditzing around that we went from screen to screen and back and forth and in the nutrition and here and there, what has happened is we've only sent energy that one time when we did the MEP, ladies and gentlemen. That's the only time we actually did balancing with this device. The rest of it was just actually sending the signals when we were scanning. And her body is so sensitive. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Don't miss this, people. Her body, like your body, like my body, is so sensitive and so right on that it said, all I needed was those split seconds of that signature to be offered to me, and I have already balanced this. So if you don't take away anything else from this session today, if you ran this client on respiratory for more than 1 to 2 minutes, if you, and we get this question all the time, well, can't I just put the timer on 0? Can't I just run them? Should I run them for an hour? Should I do this? Should I do that? No. This body just gave you your entire class today. This body says to you, Like every client's body will say to you, I don't need a lot, I just need a little. Remember, this is what it's about, people. It's about balance. It's also about respect. It's about respecting the innate wisdom of this body. And guess what's at the very core of who you are? It's the source energy. It is the 0-point field. It is God.
Yes, and the reason also it's reminding me, Brenda, that what you're doing is you're speaking the language of the body. That's the bottom line of all of this as well. This
Yes.
is the language of the cells, the
Yes.
electromagnetic frequencies. And so that's why it is able to understand the signals that you're sending, and the balance, it's resonating with this language. It understands it. This is what it's made of. This is how it was designed by the Creator to respond to this language.
If you could see the look on Sharron's face and you could see the look on mine, you would know that we are so excited about this class this morning. And again, we got off to kind of a bizarre start here. Hopefully it didn't translate through to everybody out there, but with everything in the background here not functioning properly this morning, we still came through with a fantastic explanation. And yes, Sharron, we are electromagnetic fields. Your device, whether you're using the Life system or you're using the Infinity, is speaking the language of the body, the language of the universe. And I say all the time, you know, less is more. It just takes a little bit to balance. Balance is delicate. If you're sitting there now in front of your computer, I want you to take your pen or your pencil, and I want you to just stick out your index finger and balance that pen or pencil. Look what it takes to keep that balance, and you can see that it's constantly moving just a little bit to maintain that balance, but it has to be in the perfect place to have balance, and everything is about balance. So even though this class was a wild class today, it was a great class. I thank you for it. Susan, thank you for your questions. You were in total alignment with the universe today, because the universe was saying, let's push Brenda Judah's buttons this morning and get her back into focus. I had a fantastic conversation this morning with Sharron about the 0-point field, and for the conversation I had, this class was the culmination of that. Okay, Sharron.
And Sherry is saying, if I lived in Florida, I would beg to work in your clinic! Exclamation points.
Come on down, sister. Okay, kids. We want to thank you so much for your time. And again, like we always say, if you're new to this, don't let the ramblings that we get into frighten you. You are in this field by a divine appointment. No matter who you are, no matter where you came from, it doesn't matter. You're here by divine appointment. And you are on the cutting edge of the universe right now. These devices are cutting edge. They are changing people's lives because you are offering the language that the body needs to support itself in making the changes. And don't forget, you're not the healer, which is great news. It's great news. Don't get all balled up in that thinking, oh man, I got to do this, I got to do this. Just learn. Be diligent in learning so that you understand what you're seeing there. If I had looked at the first time or the second time, maybe, and I didn't know what I was doing, I would be going, oh man, now I'm really lost. Now, these are the reasons why it's so important for you to take this education, because whether or not you're a practitioner going out to start a practice out in the public, or whether you are somebody who is working on only yourself and others, this information is imperative, because you want to do the best that you can. And so we encourage you to take the classes, to be a part of this amazing quantum leap into the future. We want to thank you for your time. We want to thank you for your comments. Again, that is wonderful to us. Be watching for the 0 Point Connection email. It will be coming to you via contact, constant contact, so don't just throw it away. And if you don't see it in the next day or two, please look into your trash for it, or just go to the website. Hopefully tomorrow afternoon it'll be up. You can go to the website and sign up for the 0 Point Field, 0 Point Connection, which will start January 4th. We are excited about it, and we are not leaving Quantum Life. We don't want to make you think that we've just jumped ship or anything. Not at all. We're just moving forward in this field. And Integrity Biofeedback, as we've always said, is an autonomous company who is bent on providing the best education that we can in the field of quantum biofeedback. That is why we educate for the life system and the infinity. We love both devices. We don't say one is better. We don't say that one is less or one is more. They are both doing phenomenal things. And you know what? It's you, the practitioners, that are changing the world. Till the next time, we send you light and love.